Blackboard you can check, but you don't need to check now because I will return to you guys at the end of today's class. I think I haven't posted answers in Blackboard, have I? No? Okay, I will post today for sure. So you can refer to the answers of homework in Blackboard. Remember, we will have the exam on when?
Monday.
Next Monday. So everybody should be here next Monday. Don't want to miss the class next Monday, right? So the same format as the first midterm exam, 25 multiple choice questions, 4 points for each question. It's only cover the last 3 chapters, which is chapter 8, 10, and 13. Okay. Sample exam has already been posted in Blackboard. Have you guys checked the sample exam? Yes. Okay, that's great. So you kind of understand what the question will be like for these 3 chapters. Right? Okay. So again, I will return your homework to you at the end of today's class. Any questions before we move on chapter 15? Question, comments? Which is good? Okay. Okay. So on Wednesday's class, we have talked about the benefits and the risk of outsourcing. Again, emphasis is again. I think that's as an international faculty, we can bring some special source to outsource topic to you guys, especially for students grow up in United States. Is that we should think in a different way of outsourcing. First, I personally think under globalization, outsourcing should be always an option for your company. You shouldn't exclude this option. You say, hey, no, I want everything do in US. Well, you can do that, but most likely you will suffer some accidents. So it should be always an option for you. And then, whether you want to choose this option is your choice, right? But again, open your mind. If you think outsourcing, not just look at made in Mexico, made in China, made in Canada. There's a lot of different choices in the world. Some countries never heard about that. This can be a very good candidate for outsourcing nowadays. 10 years later, right? That's very important. Be open mind. The world is changing so fast, dramatically. I can tell you another example. I know that I have in fact, it's my grandma's friends. So you know, mainland of China and Taiwan was separated after the Second World War because of the domestic war after that, right? So another party, okay, flee to Taiwan. So they are separated from mainland of China. So my grandma's friend was in Taiwan, is a general, okay, in the Second World War, and then in Taiwan. He was very rich. And in 1989 or something, he went back to mainland of China. Well, at that time, the mainland of China is so poor, was so poor, right? So we desperately want to attract foreigner investments. So which are the first party to invest in China? It's not US, because US at that time, they are very cautious, right? China just opened the door. It's Hong Kong investors and Taiwan investors. Some Japanese investors, because Asian, they know you better. They know, okay, you want to open the door, let's try. But still, there are lots of political risk at that time. If you say, I want to invest in China in 1980 something, that's a huge risk. And the labor, there are not too many skilled labor. The raw material, the infrastructure, all the things are very, very low. Right? Okay, so our friend, that's my grandma's friend, come to mainland China, say, I want to invest back to my hometown. He probably at that time is a millionaire. It's already like $1 million, that's his assets. But it's a huge risk. He has to pay attention to the newspaper every day to see any potential war between mainland of China and Taiwan or political instability. He worried about it every day, every month. He can't went to sleep because he invests $1 million in China, like late 1980. But he definitely gets a lot of tax benefits, a lot of. He was a counselor in the government of the city of my hometown. My hometown has 10 million people nowadays. At that time, he was the counselor because he invests $1 million. Nowadays, $1 million doesn't mean anything in my hometown. Nobody cares about you, $1 million. At that time, he was counselor. Government provide a very beautiful candle and people driver to him because they want to keep him investing in that city. Okay, let's turn the times to 15 years later, early 2000s. After I graduated, I went to Shanghai. The first company I work is this old friend. I will call him. He is very old persons. okay, Sun in North Company in Shanghai. At that time, my grandma's friend, he already bring his daughters. His daughter graduated from Pace University in New York. His son graduated from Stanford University in California. His son graduated from Cambridge University in United Kingdom. They all went to China to help his business. Early 2000, 21st century. Their assets for the whole corporate is about $1 billion. 15 years. So you think about many countries. Okay, I grew up from China, so I definitely understand what is developing country. No, even the people in developing country, they can't expect what's happening in the future. It can be disaster. Don't make me wrong. It definitely can be a wrong direction, but it can be such a bright future. You can't expect. What's lesson we should? As most of you guys grow up in United States, very stable society, very stable political environment. You should learn that, okay, there's a lot of potential opportunity in the world, but be very, very cautious. Don't ignore any potential candidates to outsource. Some countries you never heard about that. You never heard about that. Can be perfect outsourcing place in the future. For example, Iran. Iran had a war with US. Everybody know that, right? Like 1960. Okay. US was like head-to-head enemies. It's even worse than North Korea relationship now, right? A very, very bad relationship with Iran. But now, Iran government has very good relationship with US. I can tell you, in my opinion, Iran is a next star. Next star, at least in Asian country. Their people, their education level is very, very good. In fact, you are surprising that the international test, Iran's students' math test score, average score, is higher than United States. So let's think about their GDP, think about their income level. Education is already higher than here. So you can see that trend here. If your education is good, you have skilled workers. And the governments, okay, they follow China, has open door policy, attracts foreign investor, provide a lot of tax benefit. So that can be a good option. There are lots of countries, even I'm not familiar with like Africa. I believe there are several countries can be very good candidates. We need to explore. First suggestion, open mind, travel more, know people from different places of the world, and then you will evaluate the outsourcing much, much better in the future. Okay. So I really admire this our old friend's suggestion to us because he made such a brave decision in 1980, and he brought the asset, huge wealth for his own family. Well, $1 million is $1 million. It's still pretty decent, but if you think about it nowadays, $1 million, well, then, right? So that's a lot of reason. But one thing I still remember, the last time I met with him is 2004, before I came to US. Well, at that time, I also applied to university in Canada, university in Singapore. I get offer from different universities. Also, I get admission from Cambridge University in Britain. It's like top of top in the world, right? And this gentleman, he told me, he was like 80 years old. He said, okay, Charles, I don't allow you to go to any country other than US or Cambridge or Oxford. That's your only choice. Don't look down. You have to go to top university, either in US or only two choices in Canada, in Great Britain, Cambridge and Oxford. He pushed me very hard. He said, you can't go to Canada. You cannot go to Singapore. You can't stay in Asia. If you want to go to the foreign country, only top university in US or Cambridge, Oxford. I think if the person dream big, acts big, that's the reason they have good results. His all kids have graduate degree in US. He sent him from Taiwan to US. His son-in-law has a PhD in Stanford. A very successful business person nowadays. So dream big is very important, but also open mind. From his experience, I learned that. So you want to be the first mover, even it's risky, you have a huge potential benefits by the first moving. Okay. Risk management. Well, there's a lot of bright future, okay, for different parts, outsourcing or supply chain management, but we also want to control our risk. There are lots of risk impacts our supply chain system. Strategy to address the risk include avoidance, reduction, risk sharing. Right? Well, avoidance, for example, outsourcing. You don't want to outsource to some Middle East countries nowadays because the problem in that region, right? That's to avoid the risk. Risk reduction. Let's say you still decide to do outsourcing. You want to do different countries, right? You have sites on different countries. Risk sharing. That's you collaborate with your supplier or you collaborate with your retailer. So I say let's share the risk. Okay, I don't hold all the inventory. Let's you guys hold the inventory for me in some constants, right? So that's 3 strategies we can use to address the risk. For the successful risk management, for the supply chain, we are talking about supply chain. You should know your supplier. Again, right? Many countries decide to do outsourcing. They become a failure or example to outsourcing. A lot of reason is that the relationship with your suppliers. You think about, for example, in developing country, I can tell you, in developing country, that's if a company claim bankruptcy, well, probably they never claim bankruptcy. They just run. They just shut down the facility and then go away. Well, it's really extremely hard for you. Say, I have contracts with you. I invest $1 million on you. You can't do that. Let's go to the cost. The cost will do some job, but it doesn't work. Cost say you have to pay $1 million for this company. Well, you can't find a person. Okay, this person say I don't have money. It happens so common in developing countries. So you definitely want to know your suppliers. You want to have a very trustworthy supplier. In the US, it's the same, right? If you don't know a supplier, you can have lots of problems. Supply chain visibilities. Transportation is a big problem of risk. Anything can happen, right? Fragile products or risky products can cause problems during transportation. So visibility is very important for you and also for the customer. They want to know what's happened in transportation.
Yes, correct.
Develop the event response capability. Right? You have to quickly address the problem once it's happening. Global supply chains. Okay, for the global supply chains, that's one reason why supply chain creates a lot of jobs nowadays. If we think about 20 years ago, there are supply chain jobs. But if you just go to a labor to get your components, that's pretty easy, right? You don't need a high educated people to do that. But since nowadays we go globally, most likely the supply chain is a global supply chain. We require you guys to have a knowledge. It's not just know South Carolina and North Carolina. You have to know the whole nation. You have to know Canada. You have to know Mexico to do the global supply chain. Right? So the design often use input from all the world. Some manufacturing service are outsourced to the country. Well, maybe the labor material costs are lower. Maybe they have a better quality. Products, definitely, you should sell your products globally. I didn't see the reason you only want to sell your product in US, right? President won't blame you if you sell products globally, right? He may blame you if you only help the people globally, but he will never blame you on sell the products globally. Right? You think about our president has a lot of investments overseas, has a lot in Europe, even in China. That Trump has a lot of investment in China. So definitely, well, he wants to bring jobs back to US, makes sense, but definitely everybody wants to sell the products of the world. Right? Complexities. When we go globally, okay, there's a lot of challenge, right? So even we just have the customer globally, or everything happen in US for production, right, marketing. We just have a customer in different countries. We have language and culture difference. Right? In your guys' opinion, language difference compared to culture difference, which one creates more problems for us usually? Is language or culture? Culture. Everybody agree? It's culture difference. Why you guys think language difference is kind of easy part to conquer?
It's not easy to learn someone else's language, but it's easier to learn like a common conversation.
You mean like English?
Yeah, like it's not easy to like learn, but I'm saying it's probably easier to learn the ways of the
Culture, right? Yeah, because English, like United States, okay, I know you all of you guys. I think I talked with you all of you guys. So you guys, native speaker, no problem. And writing, I can see the reports, case reports, pretty decent. So, and nowadays in the world, if we do say the global business, a lot of people, if we say don't say but most of people, half of people can speak pretty decent English. At least you can understand them, right? You can understand me, hopefully, right? At least, right? So you can understand them. So that's communication. It's not a big deal. And sometimes you have some pain to realize and you want to repeat, to reconfirm. But it's not so big. But culture is a thing, sometimes invisible. You can talk about culture like US culture. Something you can tell, but something you cannot tell. Right? You have to go to that society, know the people, then you know the culture. And you know that if for the big country, that's even worse is that they have regional culture. Well, we have a southern culture in US is very different with New England. I pay attention to this when I moved from Connecticut to here 5 years ago. I would think about the culture is pretty, it's very different with Connecticut. Do you think so? I think it's very, very, very different. For example, my observation here is that this probably has more religions connection here compared to New England area. Right? The famous example is Chick-fil-A. Well, they don't open on Sunday. We know the reason, right? But in New England area, they definitely have church, but not so strong. That's the cultural difference, right? It's different. Food, the same. Okay, my experience. When I was in New England, I went to Boston. I liked the lobster. Right? They have steamed lobster. It's so delicious. I really like the lobster in New England. I can do here. The first time I went to Charleston. Right? I searched on TripAdvisor. I say I want to find the best seafood restaurant in Charleston. This must be very delicious. It's also the city close to the sea, right? I went to a downtown place, wait for a very long line to get some shrimp or something like that. When I got there, I was so disappointed. So all the stuff, what's that? Fried, right? You know. Well, I don't understand. Why you have the fresh seafood? You want to fry that? You guys understand, right? Most of you guys are from South. Why? You explain to me. Why you are not in like Smoky Mountain, right? You are in Myrtle Beach. You are in Charleston. You get shrimp on the morning. You want to fry it on the afternoon to eat that. Why? I still don't understand. My wife can't understand because she was living in an island in China back before. Right? So she also is all fresh, just steam. Right? That's all have. Maybe have a little bit of sauce. That's most likely. Why fry? Anybody can explain to me why in the southern culture we want to fry everything? No,
it's a tradition.
Yeah, very good example, right? Like Anderson, that's culture. Even sometimes we can't explain. Maybe in your generation you will change. But first, I really think we should change because I don't want to go to Charleston again. The best restaurant still fry the fresh seafood. Doesn't make sense. Okay, I know I'm a foreigner, so I don't understand the culture very well, right? You guys will whisper about Charles. How you can see Charles is a strange person? Well, everybody likes fried seafood right here. Okay, so cultural difference is really hard. So I do definitely suggest you guys to try to know some people from this country. Okay, you can speak Spanish, right? Some people can speak Spanish, but you can't understand like Mexico culture until you know some people from Mexico. Maybe until you live like 1 or 2 months in Mexico, you know much better. Right? Currency fluctuation. Why it can cause problem for the currency fluctuation? We know currency fluctuates every day. Why it can create problem for us?
Because if your margin isn't very significant and currency fluctuates, you can go from making money to losing money very quickly.
Yes, if your margin is pretty tight, it's not skinny, it's very tight margin, right? Then you can definitely lose money for the fluctuation of that. Well, the reason is that even you manufacture here, most likely your raw material can be from overseas, right? You pay the raw material by what? By local currency, right? You can't say, well, it's painful if you can pay US dollar for some company in Britain. They have Britain probably is not so painful. Like Japan, it's pretty painful. They have to every day cash US dollar and convert to local yens and then invest it on their facility. So you pay the local currency. You have a contract by local currency. When the fluctuation happen, you lose money. Right? Same thing here. You sell globally. Why can't you change the price every month? You say, oh, US dollar is not as strong as before, so let's increase the price for our product. Customer wants buy that. What's happened, right? What's nothing wrong with customer? So definitely that. So that's why we talk about hedging risk. You all have different supplier. You want to have different market. You don't want to, okay, all your products go to Mexico. You have different market. That's where hedge your risk. Political instability, we have talked about. We all understand that, right? We all understand that there's political instability. That's my suggestion. I want to open guys. Just my personal opinion is that okay. Many countries with just one party or maybe just one dictator, in fact, most likely they are more stable than the country with democratic system but low education. Do you understand what I mean? So if a country, you can see a lot of countries in the past 20 years, they went to democratic system, but their base is not stable. If the people, right, it's fundamental people, education level is like elementary school, that system is very unstable. They can change the party, change the leader every year, every 2 years. You don't want to take any risk. So you want to have definitely you want to go to some market. Okay, both has a very high level political system and a high level education level, income. That's, well, which means it probably is very expensive for this country, right? Increase transportation costs and lead time. Easy to understand, right? So we have overseas. Either we buy our products or raw material overseas, or sell overseas, the same thing, right? Have higher lead time. Increase lead for trust among supply chain partners. How can we build the trust between us and our supply chain partners? How can we do that? What we can do to enhance the trust between us, among us?
Maybe instead of like phone calls, maybe like face-to-face meetings.
Face-to-face meeting, yes. On-site meeting, very good. Means?
Well, I was gonna say you could have like a purchasing contract, like
Contract?
yeah, like you could say
Protection contract.
like you're gonna purchase this many supplies every year from the vendor.
Yeah, basically it's long-term relationship,
Yeah.
not just by price. Very good. Okay. Meeting is a very important thing. You definitely want to contact your keep relationship with them weekly, monthly. That's most one monthly. And you also want maybe you internally have some people know their culture, right? For example, customer service, right? You want people can speak Spanish, right? To answer the question from the customer from Spanish-speaking region, right? So that's a lot of things you can do. There are lots of great examples to build a good trust of the foreign companies. One famous example is Apple and Foxconn. Foxconn is the very, very big company. Almost 90% of iPhones are produced by Foxconn. So they are originally from Taiwan. Okay, now the major facilities are in mainland of China. And Foxconn, their company, like I think 1 or 2 months ago, invest multi-million dollars, 10, 30 million in Wisconsin. Okay, and the president of that company just met with President Trump. Trump praised, you are a successful person, just come to US, invest in us. And several states try to attract this investment. Finally, Wisconsin win. The governor of Wisconsin very proud, say, we attract Foxconn because it creates several hundred jobs, a lot of tax benefits. But anyway, so it's also a global company. But 20 years ago, it's basically they are in Asian country. But Apple already have very good relationship with them for more than 10 years. Have a very, very good relationship, very successful business model. Now, Foxconn also come to US. You probably will see them in the future, especially Wisconsin area. It's become a big company in there. So, I'll talk about that, all the things. First suggestion, I think you guys are a little bit, sometimes you think it's too far away from me. I'm not in that high level position to handle that. But some of you will have to handle that in the future, 5, 10 years later. My current suggestion for you guys is that travel, first suggestion. Well, we have study abroad program, you have your own family tour. I know many of you have traveled overseas, which is good. Quick survey. Raise your hand if you have ever traveled to some other foreign countries. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half of students. It's pretty, a lot. Talk about the country you have traveled. Joseph, Kayla?
I was just held my hand like this.
No, not really. Okay.
I've never traveled.
Oh, okay.
I only went to Canada. I don't think
Canada?
it's that much.
It's a foreign country, but yeah, it's still a foreign country, right? Right. You don't think so? Let's bring Dr. Doyle here. Or here. You don't want to say it's not a foreign country. It's politically incorrect, right? So be very careful, right? You can't say Canada. It's not a foreign country, right? And you must travel a lot.
Mexico, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Canada.
Okay. North America, several
A lot of developing places like Canada and
Yes.
Puerto Rico. And
Yes. That's Puerto Rico.
Mexico.
Yeah. Dylan?
Ireland.
Ireland, so it's last year. Or this summer.
Or this.
You enjoyed that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great experience. Anybody else? Want to talk about the country you have traveled?
I went Ireland.
Ireland too?
I went to Mexico.
Mexico?
Dominican Republic.
That's good.
But yeah.
Yeah, you find that culture is very different, right? It's not just language. Its culture is very, very different, right? Maybe you know many people like we have a lot of Hispanic folks in this area. But it's only until you travel to Mexico, really understand what's the culture like in Mexico. It's not just Hispanic community here. It's very different. It's very, very different. Very good. Well, suggestion, right? If you have money, travel more, right? Definitely, right? If you don't have enough money, or if your time don't allow you to travel a lot, try to make friends here. The beautiful thing in US is that you can easily make friends all over from all different backgrounds. Just stay in US. Well, in China it's hard. You know that 20 years ago, Chinese students are desperate to find foreigners to speak English. In Chinese university, there's an English corner. Okay, that's called the English corner. We don't have Spanish corner here, right? English corner is like every Saturday morning. People go to that corner, just speak English. Like, good morning, how are you today? I'm fine, thank you. How about you? Well, it's like begin like this tedious conversation, right? Because once a foreigner like a US teacher come to the English corner, oh, 10, 20, 30 people around him or her. Try to speak just one side. Ah, how are you? You look gorgeous. Well, that's right. It's called English corner, right? Well, now it's better because so many foreigners work in China. But 20 years ago, that's true. Or even Charles, like my name. I didn't have English name until I take the class in my college. That's teacher by a guy from, I forgot which state, but in the US. He asked everybody has English. I said, I don't have English name. He said, you choose one. Which one you like? I say, I like Prince Charles in Britain. Let's take that name. Yeah, I'm not a Prince. Anyway, I think that CH is the same as my legal first name. So let's take that. So you can see that. But US, right? We have foreigner students, international students. We have students from different backgrounds. Right? When you work in a company, you probably have folks that are first generation or second generation immigrants. They're a good opportunity for you guys. Don't exclude yourself for some culture or some community. You want to understand that. The more you understand, the more open-minded you will be. Right? Why you guys still laughing? Okay, you know the reason I'm Charles, right? So, but anyway, just choose a name. That's just a name, right? So it's okay. So that's just my suggestion. Ethical issues. Okay, that's a lot of ethical issues in supply chain. Okay, I have told you guys the experience. Have I told you guys? Probably Joseph know in my previous class about my previous company. That's an issue. My previous colleague, he was caused by the company. You remember? Have I told that? Right. So don't make any mistake like that. Ethical is always very important in any country, any company. But if you go globally, there's lots of ethical issues. Bribing governments or company officials to secure the permits or favorable status. When you do that, if you go do business globally, and people are smiling, that means, maybe, right? I understand what smell mean, okay, in this situation. Well, it's really hard to say 100%, but you definitely want to protect yourself. That's the only thing I can say, right? Because, well, frankly speaking, in some countries, bribery is legal. Right. In some amount, like under $1,000, nobody cares. That's just like gift money. US, no. For example, several years ago, I went to the conference. I used the States card here. States card, right? You know that States card. Went to a conference in Charleston or Wilmington, I forget. Well, some people reported our dean say they see, not me, maybe not me, some other people use the States card to go to Walmart to do the grocery shopping. It's called corruption. Use States card, go to Walmart. I told him, okay, if I need to have a lunch, I pass the Walmart. Is that illegal? What? You at a conference? I don't understand. Sometimes the US is too strict, right? When you States card, you travel to Walmart, you can only go to the hotel or the place have conference. You can't go to the restaurant? I don't understand. But anyway, protect yourself. That's my suggestion. If you go overseas, well, some phenomena probably you'll never see in US. It may sometimes make you say, oh, it's disgusting, right? So everybody has corruption. But sometimes, they are legal. They're legal here. I'm not sure about the law. I think in US we have the $100 rule, something like that. I heard about that. That state government employee, 200, it doesn't limit, right? You can only accept gifts lower than 201, I forget, because nobody give me gifts, so I don't care. So like $100, $200. But in many countries, like even $10,000, it can be legal. You can't call it bribery. You can call that, but protect yourself. It's very, very important. Protect. You probably, if you have to do something sensitive, you want to find people know the system. knows yourself, okay, fresh newbie to do that. That's again, okay, that's US and many European countries, they do very good job as here. Exporting smoke stacker to developing countries. Claiming a green supply chain when the level of green is only minimal. Okay, definitely sustainability is very important. And sometimes we ignore the health, safety, environmental standard. I'm in the committee, health, safety, and environment in UNC Pembroke, and we have discussed a lot of things. One thing is with my concern, we will discuss next Monday tonight. I think the state governments will modify the law to annul the carry guns in campus. I'm not sure whether this will become true very soon. And then definitely raise our concern. Say, yeah, open concealed guns can be carried into the campus. I heard about that. That's our agenda. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that. Whether it's just a proposal or it will become legal very soon. But definitely raise my concern, right? Yeah. For example, I look at like very funny picture in Texas. That's all the professor. Well, all the stuff to protect himself in the class. Because he said if students are angry about me, they will get their gun out and shoot me. So I know he just protest. It's not really protection, right? But that's professor. Well, that's in the class in Texas. Yeah, that's crazy, right? But in the foreign country, healthy environment, a lot of problems. I told you guys right before, right? So even in US, in North Carolina, nowadays you heard about again and again about a water problem. You guys know that, right? GX. I talked about that. I remember. You guys know that? Anybody from Wilmington area here? Jacksonville area? Nobody? That's Cape Fear River, the chemical company. Okay, disposed the Gen X for decades on this river, and then this river's water go to the citizens in Wilmington area. So that's big problem. Well, there's some basic worker rights. Walmart was blamed a lot on this. Walmart is a very successful global company, but you know Walmart's strategy, right? In US, they were pushed to the minimum labor cost here. Well, follow the law. In foreign country, if there's no minimum labor cost, well, they're pushed to the whatever lowest they can get. Right? And also, some country have children is a problem. Right? Misleading the country of origin. Some U.S. company did that, right? It's not made in U.S. They claim it's made in U.S. It has a regulation say, okay, if you claim it's made in U.S., what's the percentage of this process was done in U.S.? But nowadays, many companies, okay, they know, okay, they want to hide, right? Say made in Indonesia, very, very tiny one. You can't see that. Where is made? Big one, distributed in United States. Of course, you distribute in United States. While you sell in United States, you distribute. So what's the point? I didn't understand. You distribute in United States. Of course. I need to know made in which country. Very tiny one. But just pay attention, right? Origin of country. Selling products abroad that's abandoned at home. A lot of developing companies they did that. Like high pollution products, okay. The products were already recalled because of safety issue. They stop selling here, they sell to developing countries. That's ethical. No, most likely it's legal, but I think it's really ethical issue.
A lot of agricultural products that they do that with too that are banned in the United States. They'll use them as pesticides.
A lot, right? Nowadays, like Japan is problem. They have the Fukushima nuclear pollution, right? So many countries say, I don't want your product. But Japan push very hard. Say it's gone for like 5 years. So you know that, right? They export to you, but anything can happen. Dealing with ethical issue. You want to develop an ethical supply chain code of behavior. Most likely you guys will work for the company in the United States. I think most US companies are role models for ethicals, right? You definitely see in the supply chain, you want to set a role model. You want to set this high bar for all the players in the supply chain to follow this criteria as much as they can, right? Monitor the supply chain activities. Choose suppliers that have reputation for good ethical behavior. Incorporate compliance with labor standards in supply contracts. Address any ethical problem that arise swiftly. So the third one, choose suppliers that have a reputation for good ethical behavior. This suggestion can be expanded to any situation. choose a person, choose a company has good reputation, good history. Well, when I was in your age, definitely you have roommates, you have friends, they have relationship, broke up with some girlfriend, boyfriend every year, and then cry and complain. Again, which I don't understand. Even when I was in your age, you say, okay, this person you know in the beginning, he dumped his girlfriend every year for the past 3 years. Everybody know him. Why you want to try? If you try, you take the risk. You everybody okay. How many people, especially girls, sorry, maybe I'm biased, but they have wishful thinking. So this man will change after this way. Why the man has to change? First of all, nobody should change. Nobody should change. Reputation is the key thing. Don't laugh because I still see it happen and happen again. I still see it happen and happen again. For boys, you guys are laughing because maybe you are the bad example I just mentioned. Right? Okay, that's why you guys are laughing. Which I don't understand. Also, boys can say, this girl is like a playgirl. If she's a playgirl, you don't want to change him. It's hard to change anybody after 18 years old, right? We know that. Why don't you try and then you cry? He didn't change. You should think about 99% he won't change. 1% if you are extremely lucky, he change. But if he didn't change, take your risk. Talk about risk management. Why I talk about personal relationship? You guys show okay, you are wake up. Everybody wake up. Everybody wake up when I talk about that, right? But reputation is the key thing. That's why we have credit history, right? Well, we don't have like the love history in any database in United States, in any country. But you know that you have social life, so you know their friends. I don't. Now I'm not doing that job. I already have family. Nobody bother me. But when I was in your age, I'm pretty social. I have so many friends, female, male. They come to me, cry again, every year, do the same thing, cry, complain, the same pattern again. Make me sick. I say, I warned you last year. Again. Everybody warned you last year. Again, you complain, cry. Learn the lesson. Same thing. When we do business, well, you want to do the business with good people, with good reputation, like Charles, right? So even Charles don't like fried seafood. That's okay. We have different culture, right? But have good reputation is a key thing. My suggestion, really, don't expect any company to change so quickly. They can change. They can change. Any person after 18 years old, you don't expect that. Do you expect that? A person changes just for you? How special you are? You are a special person, right? I don't understand. But I don't expect. When I met with my wife, I tell him everything. What's happened about me? But everything. When I say, I don't need to know everything about it. I say, I have such a good history. Definitely I want to show to you, right? So that's the reason, blah, blah, blah. He said, I don't need to know that's what's happening in elementary school or middle school. I say, okay. I tell everything. Oh, there's no drama or surprise after 20 years later. I say, you hide something, find in some Facebook account, some stranger just added you. It's your ex-girlfriend. No, it won't happen. It won't happen. But yeah, nobody should follow anybody's traits. But again, reputation is the key thing. I really think, again, people can change. We have the other means. People can change. And a child can become a very ethical person. 5 years later, you'll see me. It can't happen, right? But don't you take your risk. You take the risk. Your company take a risk. If you are a risk-averse person or risk-averse company, you don't want to cry after 1 or 2 years later, right? Okay. In your age, I think you guys spend more time on this topic than supply chain management, right? Okay, I understand. Totally understand. It's very interesting. When I was in Minnesota, I was in a math PhD program. I still remember the faculty teach us probability. He tried to build a model to measure the probability of successful relationship. He's a genius. He tried very hard. He said, no way, we can't have a model to measure the probability. So basically, he wanted to have a model that's okay, giving all the inputs. Okay, the height, the weight, the education level, income level, maybe love history, everything together to calculate probability whether these two people can go to marriage successful in the future. He tried very hard. I don't know. You think about the math faculty want to do something related to the world, that's good, right? But it's almost impossible. Almost impossible. Small business concerns. Something we already cover. Inventory management. Okay, you want to carry, sometimes you carry extra inventory to avoid a shortage due to the supply chain interruption. If your supply is in Lumberton, you do business in Pembroke, you probably don't have to carry a lot of inventory. Because you can drive 20 minutes to get them if you have an emergency order. But if your supply is in Mexico or Canada, it's a country Joseph doesn't think it's an independent country, right? But anyway, like if your supply is in Canada, definitely you have to hold more inventory in your hand because you don't know. Okay, it can tell you it take weeks, months. Right? And for example, when you go to eBay, be very careful, right? When you go to eBay, you want to see this whether the seller is in US or overseas. I made this mistake before. I just purchased like USB cord or something. I want that 3 days. I purchased like source by price. Right? You know that from business school, we all source by price, right? So click on that, and then find okay, this seller is from China. It waits 1.5 months to get my USB cord. It's only $2, so I have to go to Walmart to purchase another one because I can't wait. So just pay attention, right? So the distance really make difference. Backups for delivery from supplier to customers. Right? How do you reduce costs? Reliable suppliers, which suppliers are critical, and measure suppliers' performance, monitor their performance. Recognize warning signs of supply issues. For example, this country can have problems. This supplier can have like cash flow problems, or this country has a strict law regulations, something like that. You want to monitor that. Or maybe the labor costs increase a lot in that country or in that supplier's region. Have plans in place to manage your supply chain problem. International trade, okay, which means you have to work with someone who has expertise to help oversee foreign suppliers. Okay, we know some experts in UNC Pembroke. Okay, Professor Nick Arena, you guys must know him, right? Nick, he has tremendous experience to work with international trade. He went to China almost every year, providing consulting job, providing outsourcing options for companies in US, and also bring Chinese investors back to US. He has a lot of experience. Right? So you want to work with people with expertise in this field. Set expectations for demand and timing. Again, don't rely on single supplier. Okay, that's very important suggestion. Goodwill to help in negotiation. Using domestic supplier if the risk of working with foreign supplier are prohibitive. If you have a small company, I definitely suggest you to use domestic supplier at the beginning because you can't afford the risk. Maybe the foreign supplier has a cheaper price. Maybe there can be a reputable company, but you are just beginning your business. You are small companies. You know way it's a priority for them. You want to have a trustable domestic supplier first. Responsibility, legal responsibility, we all understand. You want to follow the laws and all regulations, no matter where you do the business. Well, unfortunately, I would say lots of big companies, there are no role modeling here. From Walmart to Johnson & Johnson, I can tell you 1,000 examples of Fortune 500 level company that have lawsuits problem, a bribery, corruption problem in foreign country. They are role model in the United States because we have very strict laws, right? But when they go to foreign country, sometimes you can't blame on him. I know some pharmaceutical company, recently their high-level position person went to jail in China because of the bribery, corruption. Okay? They never did that in US, but they do the bribery in China. And then they are caught by the government in China. Well, we understand that sometimes you have pressure because if the local competitor they all do that, you think okay I have this advantage, but I don't do that. So I know it's extremely hard. So for me, it's really hard to tell students or share with anybody what we should do because I think that the world is not black and white. Maybe in US we have pretty clear threshold between black and white. But in many countries, the most area is gray. The most area is gray. You probably can't believe that, but I can tell you from my experience, right? Some people do that, they have nothing. They get nothing. Some people do that, you get caught, you have a significant, serious result. So, but if you don't do that, do nothing, you probably can't do a very successful business. So it's extremely hard and tricky. The only suggestion I have again is protect yourself. when you do anything, protect yourself, protect your company, you don't want to make yourself in a very dangerous position, right? And hopefully you can follow the laws and regulations. Economical response, okay, you definitely want to meet the demand to satisfy the customer. Ethical one is even it's legal, right? You want to become the role model. Okay, I listen to the NPR like on Sunday on the way when I go to the soccer pickup game. They're talking about whether U.S. still has the moral authority in the world. What do you guys think? Do you think the U.S. still have this moral authority? This role model in the world. Do you think so or not think so or kind of? Yeah, people debate. People some think that everybody has their criteria. Why we are the role model? Why everybody should follow us? But many people also think U.S. is the role model. Still the role model. It's maybe not as top as 20 years ago, but I personally think yes, still the role model. Overall speaking. Right? So if you are the role model, your company is the role model, you want to try to become a role model in the supply chain. Right? That's the thing you want to do. Right? Okay, that's the end of today's class. Okay, enjoy your good flight.